Well, as promised, here I am, walking to the Connemara. Can you hear that plane above? It's like a little black dot in the sky going across. And it's still the 20th. First thing to say is, I believe this is the first day of summer. Kind of the first legit day. We got the seagulls singing everywhere. The sun is powerful and there's just a slight breeze, but it is... there's the seagull. Maybe not the seagull, maybe some kind of a cricket or something. I don't know. But it's that familiar noise of the summer. And I'm wearing just a little blue jacket. And you definitely would not need any kind of heavy jacket today. And there's a beautiful sky actually. Ooh, you know, I'm going to take a picture. Gotta take a picture because that's it looks really nice. Lure. Let's see if I can do this because I can't really see my phone. So we're gonna just have a normal photo. And let me try. I've got this. I never really used this. This is I thought this had a zoom lens. Where's that gone? Oh, here. Right, that's that done. Sorry. Well, that's a picture, you'll be able to see that, but there's lovely little clouds. And then behind the clouds there's like... it's like streaks of the kind of very mild white streaks all through the sky. Like the wind is kind of taken some of these light clouds and just blown them from one side of the sky to the other. It's quite unusual. And very, very summery. The grass is very green, you got all the wheat. It's actually here, you could point the camera in any direction here at the moment and get a good picture. And I can feel the sun on my face. I got my scarf on my neck, so it's really feels like the first legit summer's day on the 20th of May. And it's about time, to be honest. I feel in a very would you say existentialist mood. I'm kind of walking down here and I was just thinking earlier to myself, you know, that there's a certain worry for the future. And it's not really just the future of Connemara and stuff like that. It's I think it's the big future question, the worry about mortality, old age, sickness, things that can't really be solved by having a great job, or things that can't be solved even by having a fantastic financial security. Some things can't be solved. That's the thing. And I think they're always brewing in the background. And obviously we project them onto immediate, more tangible problems. So we can convince ourselves, well, that's why you have that inner angst in you. And if you could only get rid of the Connemara and get a job, become fluent in French, etc., etc., everything would be fine. But if I was fluent in French and had a job, and if the crypto markets went through the roof, those problems with sickness and mortality, they wouldn't be going anywhere, because nothing in what I've just said addresses those things. Nothing makes them go away. And I just had this sense as well earlier, I don't feel it so much now, it was a few minutes ago. The question of how useful is an existence such as mine in the scheme of things. I get up, I see Flo, we talk, I walk to the Connemara and back, I look at the screen, I sleep. I don't really interact with anybody else, I don't do anything. I know there are lots of people in the same boat, maybe everybody has questions like that. What keeps me going, what helps get rid of that existentialist angst is kind of the thought that, well, perhaps when you feel down and you do something to fight that feeling, whether it's playing some music, perhaps trying to find some kind of a power trip to go on to bring yourself out of it, just this, talking, analyzing stuff. And when you gradually move up a bit into a better mood, and when you find some inspiration and a remedy, then perhaps not only do you help yourself, but perhaps in some kind of way, if we are all connected, then perhaps that has an influence on the kind of some part of the collective in some way. Perhaps you start the eddy in the stream, you know, that turns into these little ripples and they fan out and they affect other things. I don't know what that means. I just looked ahead and I can see lots and lots of people seem to be standing in the place where the parapents land. And just behind them for a second I thought, wow, it looks like a whole gathering of people, like, you know, almost like as if there's something going on, like a big gathering. And then I realized behind those people, that's actually sheep and goats. They're not really people. There is people standing in the parapet, but there's only about 10 people there, and then behind them there's about maybe 50 goats and sheep. I don't know, somewhere I feel that that's an analogy and there's some deep meaning in that. That means you'll probably be hear the dog later on. I have to come up with my own exercises to bring my mood up. And the question of are you worthwhile and what's it, what's the point of things, that can really only be answered by yourself, the individual. You have to decide that yourself. You can't really find it outside yourself. You have to make it worthwhile. You have to make, through use of your own imagination if need be, you have to find things It's your job to make it worthwhile. And these moods come. I'm reminded of something I wrote way back. And it's like that we stand in our own way. We are our own jailers. We are our own worst influence sometimes. Because there's nothing putting me in a bad mood as such at this moment. And you can say, well, there is, biologically there is, and I really believe that more and more. I ate some stuff last night late. My stomach doesn't feel great. It's like bloated stuff, and I really think it's just my living habits are probably not the best. My stomach and digestion system was in a much better state when I was working, and I would have that one kind of meal, maybe a snack at 4 o'clock, and then just something light at 7 o'clock. And that was it. Then I'd go home and maybe have an apple and go to bed at 1:30, 2. I was feeling a lot better. But seriously, we have to give ourselves the reasons. I just had that thought about how tough things get for people. I don't really know what I'd do if I, had real problems. I don't have real problems. You just think of people that really are, genuinely depressed because things are not right, either in their lives or in their heads. I can't really judge where I stand in levels of the depression and stuff. I don't know. I think by and large I'm pretty stable. Oh, it's really hot today. So yeah, I don't know what all that means, if it makes much sense. I wonder if I could ever come up with any new philosophical insights. Sometimes I think the mind and the psyche and the body itself, there's like a timer, and it's, once you pass 40 or maybe 30, hey buddy, that's it. Your time of original thinking is just kind of past. From now on, you're just going to kind of be detailing what you've already discovered. Because I don't feel I come up with very much original material over the last few years. I come up with some notions and they seem to be quite clear in my mind, but then I say, you wrote about that back in The Rose and Crown like 100 years ago. You may not have been as clear thinking about it then, but it was something you were thinking about. I don't know if I'm coming up with stuff now that's kind of, for myself, that's like breakthroughs, in my own kind of spiritual, I hate saying spiritual path. I don't even like using the word spiritual too much, because it's just got, the words, like so many words, they've got destroyed over time by, in my head anyway, being constantly associated with fucking dickheads on the internet. It's a lovely day for the sheep. Huh? Nice and dry and warm. They got plenty of grass around. They can relax. I like the notion of the synchronicity and the strange coincidences. They could kind of keep you going. Hello, little fella. Oh no. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Got nothing for you. Good boy, good boy. That's the famous dog that turns up in all my recordings. He turns up in my recordings from time to time. He's just saying hello to me, I think. I'm about to pass two people with a dog. Yeah. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Yeah, I know. What I was kind of saying a little earlier, I'm lucky and I got my health. And I can have these existentialist questions and be a little down and wonder, what's it all about? But at the same time, I'm walking fully fit to the Connemara. Not as fit maybe as I'd like to be, but fit enough. Everything is working and I can hear and I can see, and I know that come this evening I'm going to have an appetite and I'm going to eat some sausages and rice and I'm going to taste them and I'm going to enjoy the dinner. And then I'm going to have some moments on the internet playing chess or getting back to Transport Fever or downloading some audio for whatever it is, small little tasks that bring me, well, they kind of occupy me at least. To some people maybe that's not enough. I want more. I want to be on an island or beside the sea. I want to be living in a little wooden chalet and whatever. I want to be earning lots of money. I want the perfect job. But I can guarantee you there are a lot of people out there that description you just gave of your day, they would dearly love to have that. They'd settle for that. People that are in worse situations, people that are ill, people that are living in the shitholes of the world. And there's a hell of a lot of those. And people like that, if you told them, well, this is my life, this is what I do, they'd say, well, I'd be very fucking happy with that. I guess it's all. But doing that comparison, it does so much, but it doesn't always work 100%, There's a car parked in the middle of the road, nobody in it. I'm going through the little housing place with the doggies. Man, all the grass here on the path has just gone ballistic because of the rain and now some sunshine. It's all up to my knees here. About a week ago, I don't remember seeing it. So yeah. There is even a chance that I could be listening back to this recording in 50 years' time. Can you imagine? I'd be 105, such things happen. And I don't know what I'll be feeling like. But maybe I'll be thinking, well, I sure would be very happy if I could walk to the Connemara now. I would be happy if I could eat some food and enjoy all the taste and do some stuff on the internet and walk around and talk. Maybe even my older self looking back at this will be I hope very hard to project yourself into the future. I see myself all grey smiling with some gained wisdom. I hope to God I gain something. Understanding, wisdom, some promotion to help me deal with the mysteries of life and the inevitableness of things. Very common, the fear of the unknown. The unknown is not kind of walking around a cave. The unknown is like a psychological cave. It's the unknown. It's tomorrow. The word fear of the unknown, it's not really a good description. It's not that clear when your fear is of what's going to happen to me. What's going to happen to flow in time, Because it is, in a sense, unknown is the right word. But it's somehow doesn't really fit for me right now when I think of it. It's kind of a fear of the future. Where will your journey lead you? The psychological journey, the spiritual journey. Again, I'm using spiritual journey in a nice way there to coincide with psychological journey, but the fucking term spiritual journey, it adorns the cover page of so many shit books that the word itself, when I say it, kind of just sparks off the kind of crap warning in my head. You'd have to hope as well that it's not all just about food and energy from things, that there is some genuine magic at work. That it's not just a case of, all you have to do is eat the magic mushrooms and then you have the magic experience, because the magic experience is really linked to the magic mushrooms. Not you, just whatever the fuck is in the magic mushrooms. And that you eat the right foods or you fast for the right amount of time and hey presto, you have your spiritual promotion. Not sure I like the link to be as total as that. I'd like there to be some, maybe that's just thinking about the synchronicities, thinking about the sheep and the dog in my walk the other day. Enjoy. Thinking about the oddness of that, the inexplicability of the moment when you're talking to the sheep and the dogs and then you're listening to yourself from a year and a half ago and you have the same dog there. Maybe what that means is it's a message to you saying, well, there is a certain link between food and mood and between fasting and spiritual experience and between magic mushrooms. But there is always something else there that is as unexplicable as those of the weirdest syncretic moments that you may experience when you're listening to one of 150 audio tapes. At the time, maybe it was one of 100 audio tapes. And a lot of these audio tapes are an hour long, and you bend down to tie your lace, and 2 minutes later, the Eddie from the past you're listening to is bending down to tie his shoelace. And you start thinking, what are the chances of me tying my shoelace at that moment when the other Eddie in the past is tying his shoelace? And maybe there are the little messages for people like me, just to let me know, just to just reassure me. That's the word. To reassure me. To say, don't worry. There is definitely some wonderful stuff going on that's got nothing to do with any kind of physical, mental, biological things. They can affect things a little bit, but there's some wonderful stuff that affects it a lot. And you don't really have faculty, perhaps right now, or maybe ever, to figure that out. And believe me, that's not a problem or anything. That's fine, because you gain the benefits, you gain the magic uplift. And just because you don't know the why or the whats or the whens or the wheres, it doesn't matter. You still get the uplift. It's like saying if cryptocurrency goes to the moon, it's probably the worst comparison to use, the worst analogy probably ever to use. I'm talking about spiritual things. I'm talking about the inner sanctum of the spiritual world, and I'm using the analogy of fucking money. I just wanted to say, if the crypto goes up to the moon, you don't necessarily care how it gets there, do you? And in a spiritual way, if you start developing wonderful spiritual promotions and you see things differently, and you've just got a different way of discussing things and a different way of looking at things, and just a different way of being completely. Your whole body is, the whole psychic, physical body is kind of transformed. I don't think you're going to lose sleep because you can't figure out why it happened. You'll be more just very happy that it did happen. And you'll be thinking, well, that's the mystery of it, but man, I'm glad that magic was there. And that this time it was powerful and had nothing to do with the other more explicable things that affect cause, effect. Enjoy. Heading down the hill just from the old house. Funny when you get into some kind of what do you call it, a rhythm of thinking, a flow, a zone. That's what the guy says, and I'm in the zone. The walk becomes kind of effortless. It seems to just kind of pass you by without you noticing. You find yourself, I'm nearly there already. It's because of these kind of conversations that I realize how important it is for me to actually get out and walk. What I'm doing now, I really believe, it's kind of help for me. It's therapy in some way. It's restful. Could even say it's like a mild form of sleep, perhaps. In this mood, in this state, this kind of talk, this breathing, I'm allowing things to rejuvenate. I'm allowing, let's say, the receptors that are receptive to some kind of magic, I'm allowing them to develop, perhaps. And what I'm not doing on this walk, which is so cool, is I'm not looking at a screen. seriously about the only time that I'm not looking at a screen. A small one or a medium one. I give my eyes a break. And my nerves. There's a slight problem with this microphone. I'm a little bit conscious of talking into it because people can see it, and isn't that the most stupid, inexplicable thing? That's like a, what they call that, an obstacle. I'm talking into it. I mean, the fact that it's a little device here and I'm talking into it, it actually takes away any sense that that guy is just mumbling to himself. People can see quite clearly that you're talking into a device. Not that you should care anyway, but I do. I can feel a certain tension in me as I'm getting closer to the town. I don't want people to see me talking to this device. So that makes no sense to me now. It's obviously, it's something that's in the program in me. It's been conditioned to be that way from very early on. It's embarrassment. You don't want to look stupid or insane. You don't want people laughing at you. And as you get older, it's subtle. You don't want people to go away with any kind of a bad sense of you. You want people to look at you and go away even a neutral sense. In fact, you don't mind if it's the 2-second snap look from the teenager and then 2 seconds later actually you have been erased from their mind completely. You're kind of more okay with that than somebody walking past you and then asking themselves, what's he doing, or is that weird, or that guy's full of himself, or he must have a big ego to be talking to himself into a machine. Or he's showing off the device. It's that opinion that I don't want people to have. Yet I have so little control over what opinion people have. God knows how many of these people saw me staggering around here drunk in the past. And that opinion is going to be probably stuck with them forever. Well, I haven't seen him drunk in a long time, but he's definitely an alcoholic, even though, whatever, you know. I guess the fact is I'm going to have to turn off because I'm not going to be comfortable talking either, so I won't be able to be free with the words. I'll be just concentrating on maybe just lots of pauses and noise. My mind won't really be in it. That's the good thing about the lapel mic, because I feel the lapel mic makes me completely... it's oblivious, the fact that I'm talking to myself. And if people know what the lapel mic is, they may just think it's for taking phone calls. I don't think anybody is going to think my little Philips thing is a phone. So I'm finding myself in a mediocre mood. Yeah, I'm just neutral. 3. But from that place there might be a bounce up. I might get some idea to do something later on tonight. Maybe do a video or something. I've had thoughts about mixing some it's never gonna happen. It's too just mixing some dialogue with some images. Not images that have to match what I'm saying, because that gets too complicated. There was just the stirrings of some new way of uploading a dialogue piece with some kind of a video as well, or not. Anyway, adios for now. Wow, I'm on recording number 8 already, kind of flying through recordings on this. It's the 20th of May, a Friday. I got some news today. I'm in the Connemara. That noise you hear is the fan. So this morning I went to bed at about 3:30 and I was listening to the radio in bed and listening to some crypto stuff. It's just terrible that I can't sleep. And then at around 5 o'clock I was trying to sleep and I moved in the bed and the bed was wet, just soaking, and so I took my light to see what was going on, and Bob, our cat, had peed all over the bed. I mean, he'd peed on the duvet, and it had seeped right through onto the inside. So we both had to get up, and Flo had got some stuff to try and that white stuff you use. I can't remember the name. Can use it to clean things. And we had to change the sheets and everything, and we weren't very happy with Bob. But later that day, we were kind of keeping an eye on Bob because he was behaving a bit weird, and Flo noticed some blood when he was peeing in the litter tray, and so she took him immediately to the vet, because a kidney infection for a tomcat, can be very serious. And that's where he is at the moment. He's in the vet. They're going to, they'd like him to pee so they can test the pee to see what's going on. If not, they'll have to do some kind of ultra scan or something. But he's definitely not well. Noisy kids. So I got up at 5 o'clock because I couldn't go back to sleep, and I made some tea, and I stayed awake and then fell asleep again at around 7 in the morning, and then woke up at 1. My sleep pattern is really fucked. I had to get out and I had to come to the Connemara, even though it's not the best of days. It's a bit windy, blustery, but on the old scale of 1 to 5, I'm definitely probably at the 1 today. I feel a little bit better now, but Flo is in bad form. She gets stressed obviously by things like this, and then I become the target, you know. Anyway, besides all that, I was in a bad mood anyway myself. I feel it's the sleep and everything, you know. It's just, it's a crazy habit of going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and then listening to something on my headphones for another hour, you know, but I just can't sleep. I mean, I really can't sleep. Oh, God, do you hear that? Shut the fuck up, you prick. That's what you need, a good slap across the back of the goddamn head. Yeah, I think the bad sleeping habits are affecting me. My skin is dry, my hair is a bit of a mess. Flo keeps saying that my hair is really thick at the back and the sides, but it's not thick anymore at the front, and that's kind of... She doesn't realize it, but to someone like me, it's very stressful to have anybody comment at all on any kind of hair loss, because I I am kind of all about the way I look, you know, to some extent. I'm very, obsessed with that, you know. So, oh my God, the noise. So I'm in the Connemara now, and it's around 6 o'clock, I suppose. I'm going to start walking home soon. The walk and everything will do me good. And then I'm going to settle down to do the same thing as I've been doing every night for what seems like the last 10 years. That's really what it feels like. Which is sit down on the computer, look at the Telegraph newspaper, look at Sky News for about 5 seconds, and then go through some of the crypto stuff, because that's the obsession. Listen to one channel, some crypto guy giving the news, then listen to 54 different crypto YouTubers, all saying the same fucking thing, literally word for word, because that's it. Four new points of news come out each day, and every fucking YouTuber goes through the same thing over and over again, and I have to watch them all like an idiot. Then I'm going to put on Transport Fever, and I'm going to probably look at things going up and down the trains and things for an hour or so. And then I'm going to play chess, and I'm going to try and convince myself not to get too bothered by losing, but I'll be bothered by losing anyway. And at some point I'll click on the stats, and I'll see, hey, I've lost 10 more games than I've won, and that's going to annoy me. By then it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm plugging my headphones in, and I'm going to listen to something like this as I lie in bed, because I enjoy it as well. If I could just go to bed earlier and do that, you know, if I could go to bed at 11 o'clock and say I'm going to go to bed at 11 o'clock and I'm going to listen to hours of stuff, that wouldn't be so bad, you know. Because I do like, there's something of the old, with the radio days, of being able to kind of pull the covers over your head and listen to stuff with the headphones quietly without anybody else hearing you. It's just something very relaxing about that. So if I could just go to bed earlier and do it, instead of going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know. That's the mood of the day, and that's the news of the day with poor Bob. I hope he's okay. He was very odd today. Otherwise, the crypto market, it's at around 39,000. Everything's dropping a little bit today. There is this rumor on the internet. Some guy posted something, and apparently he posted something very correct two or 3 days ago. He predicted the drop all the way down to 30,000, and he's posted something else. He's saying that things are going to look like they're going up to around 35, and it's going to all drop down to 25, and that's going to happen tonight. And one of my guys on YouTube said he thinks that might be a lie, and it might be just a way of tricking people, and what might actually happen is that something may go to 35, and then instead of dropping to 25, it may shoot up, and that way all the people who went short are going to be wiped out anyway. The point of the market at the moment is that aid is about 150 something, and everything else is down again. It's down 10%, 15%. Not huge changes by crypto levels. But the problem is things are going so far down now. I mean, Litecoin is now down to 100 and something euros. And you think, I bought that fucking thing that was nearly 400 euros. So it's going to take me a decade to get back to where I was. I mean, I can't remember. I think I invested 2,000. I think that's what, because it was the graph I changed. I think it was around 2,000. I'd say it's worth about 700 now. And the Ethereum Classic, if it was worth 1,000, God, it may be worth 300. And even the Binance coin, it's like I bought it at 440. It went all the way up to 690, and now it's down to 250 or something. So everything is dropping bit by bit. The only one is Cardano, really, that's making money for us. Bitcoin, Ethereum, no. It's getting to the point, if it stays like this for the next few days, or if it stays like this for the next few weeks, I really like to get rid of all these apps and forget about it completely, because I don't want to keep looking at the market and keep saying to myself, well, Litecoin is now here and I bought it here, which means I'm minus this. I don't want to keep clicking on trading 2-1 or whatever it's called, and keep looking at Coinbase and keep looking at my 4 shares and go, well, now I'm down 700. And then the next day, now I'm down 800. My 1,333 is now worth 410. You know, I don't want to keep doing that. So I'd rather, if I could, and it's possible, I go off things all the time, you know. Look at the fascination I had with devices like cameras and drones and 360-degree cameras and laptop storage devices, audio devices. Well, audio devices. But I went through it and got to the point where, like, now I've got no interest in a lot of things that I seemed obsessed with in the past. So I'm sure I can do the same with this. You know, what I've got to do, I think, is look at Steam. I think I should try, and if I could just find some other game somewhere, that's what might be a thing. Find a game, something that will really, if I could just get obsessed with something else, you know, get into something else, something on YouTube, a Netflix thing, I don't know. Something that I can sit down every night and spend a couple of hours on, and get myself out of this whole crypto thing, because it's like fucking hamster in a wheel at this point. You know, it's the same shit over and over again. And I may have to accept that things are now, you get used to things going so well, but we may be into the stage now where, you know, it is literally going to take 2-3 years for things to get back to where they were. Hopefully ADA won't be like that, but for the other things, you know, if I want to hang on to them, Dogecoin, the Binance coin, the Thema, Chainlink, that I'm just going to have to sit on those things, you know, not for a week or 2 weeks. There's no point in checking every week. I mean, at the moment I'm checking every hour. It's fucking stupid, but there's no point in checking every hour. There's probably no point anymore in checking every day or every week. I have to forget about it. Just accept that these, you know, that part is finished now, and I'm left holding a whole pile of shit unless things are hopefully, until things start to pick up again, which, you know, could be in a few months, who knows. So anyway, I should start my walk back. I don't think there's anything much more to say about today. It's a bad day, really, psychologically, and it feels very much like a biological event today. You know, it really feels like it's connected to just bad sleeping habits. It's like I'm wrecked. The mood is wrecked. I'm irritated by everything. And it's really it's the same, it's kind of contagious. Flo is the same. She's seems to be kind of wrecked today as well. And it's a bad place to be because, well, I'm glad we're not starting the Connemara tomorrow or anything, because the way we both feel now, Flo would really be projecting all kinds of shit onto the Connemara with the mood she's in. Am I going to bring the... I don't really want to carry the umbrella, but I probably should. I'm not going to be listening to anything. not going to be listening to anything. Even my stomach doesn't feel good. So all these things are linked. I feel slightly nauseous, slightly sick. Yeah. Well, I hope this walk home does me changes my mood, does me good. I hope when I get back home, hopefully I'll be in better form than I am now. I'll have to see. I'm going to switch off now because I don't want to walk through the town with this thing. There's a lot of people out there. Yeah. So goodbye for number 8 audio here on the Philips.